Gabby, big talking points before we go to the calls. They're flying in. West Ham fans, got some really angry West Ham fans. Got absolutely destroyed by Brighton today. What do you make of it? David Moyes, time to go.
Jamie, I looked at the starting lineup. We watched the game, didn't we, in talkSPORT studios. You got Paqueta, Souček, Rice, Benrahma, Bowen, Ings. You've got a £30 million striker, Skamaka, on the bench. Moyes has got to go now.
I want to go to Steve, who's a West Ham fan. All right, Steve?
Hello?
You all right, Steve?
All right, Steve?
All right, mate. Yeah, I've just watched that game. What a bad performance that was. I don't think I've seen West Ham play as bad as that for a long, long time.
Yeah, look, Steve, we had the games on in the studio. Obviously, we get the games. And every time we watched West Ham Brighton were on the attack. It was in your box. It was ridiculous. It could have been 8-0.
I know. They're absolutely terrible. My problem is that I've always been sort of like a big fan of Moyes, and I thought, let's keep them in to the end of the season. But on that performance, I just can't do it anymore. I just literally can't. It was a terrible performance. What happened to Antonio, by the way? Where was he?
I'm not sure. He was in the squad, was he? He was on the bench. But when you look at that squad of players available today, the starting team, you should. Yes, you'd expect Brighton to beat West Ham, but not so easy. Like Jamie says, every time we looked up, it was attack, attack, attack. It was like you had no midfield today.
We had nothing. I mean, Paqueta was like decent in the last game as well. I mean, and the midfield was literally non-existent today. And to be fair, I have to say that, I would have bought Rice off early doors. I did, and bought Downs. And I thought he was shocking Rice today. Terrible. His passing was poor, and everything that what's his name said, Keane said at the weekend, he sort of like backs it up really on today's performance. But
look, Steve, we're going to have a chat about that chat that Roy Keane said about Declan Rice being a £100 million player. Just quickly, Steve, David Moyes gone. You want him gone tonight?
I think we need to wait till the European Conference game. I really do. I think, and then see what happens after that. But I think that after today's performance, I was a fan of him. For what he'd done for the last 2 years, I was a fan of him. But today it was gone. It weren't even there, and I was just really, really disappointed with the game. But I think that give Thursday's game a go, see how we do, and then let's wait and see after that.
All right, Steve, top man, thanks for your call. Let's go to Reese, who's a West Ham fan. All right, Reese?
Good evening, Reese.
Hi, guys.
Yeah,
I'm a bit not great after that result today.
A disaster, that. A shocker.
I feel like we've lost our identity. Like, I don't really know what he's trying to do. We had such joy last year playing the 4-2-3-1 and hitting teams on the break.
Yeah.
I don't think we've played that once this season. He's trying to shoehorn Souček in his team up. Please, someone. He's got Per Mertesacker playing in midfield. It's unbelievable. The lack of football ability on the fella is shocking. He can't pass the ball.
Souček, did you say? Souček?
Souček, useless.
He was your best player last season. What's happened?
He's our best. Honestly, I've said this from day one. He's a bang average player. He's got no technical ability. He gets to the end of things occasionally. He stopped doing that.
Reece.
What I don't understand is our recruitment. Last year we had joy hitting teams on the break, and he signed the slowest set of players I've ever seen. Like Paqueta and Skamaka. Like we basically signed Haller and Anderson 2.0. I don't understand how he wants to transition from being a counter-attacking team, and yet he signed players with no pace. All right, Cornet's been injured. We can't help that. But if Antonio was key to us last year, but he's getting a bit older. He's not quite at it. Why was we not looking for a pacey striker? We've gone and signed a BeIN from Italy, who's a good player, but he can't run. Like, we need players who can run and attack the other. Like, I don't understand it. It's basically Haller 2.0. He'll probably go to Inter Milan and score hatfuls of goals, and we're the problem with these players. We're signing the wrong players that don't fit our system. I don't understand what he's doing. Like, for me, Carrick's the man. We'll get him in. He's come through our academy. He's up the club. Get him in there. We need some fresh ideas because Moyes.
Carrick is absolutely flying. He's flying at Middlesbrough. They're third in the table, and we were having this chat actually before the show, and we said Michael Carrick at West Ham ain't a bad shout,
We need him. Moyes has tried 3 different formations in 3 games. He's floundering. He don't know what to do. He's signed the wrong players, and he's trying to shoot them in.
As well, Reece, today it's body language from the players. The players don't look like they were trying as hard as they should have today. And I agree with the midfield. You need some more legs in there. Declan Rice can't track all these runners that are around him. Brighton, It was like Brighton were playing like the under-16s. You know, just pass and move, attack, over 20 shots. That's not acceptable for West Ham, surely.
Spurs game, he called out Moyes after the Spurs game. He said it's almost a subtle dig. Like, we basically played 12 at the back against Spurs. It's ridiculous. Like, and actually, Rice came out and said, like, it's hard to provide the attackers this formation. So I think the players are getting the I don't know what Fornals has done wrong. I don't understand it. He's one of our best players, and he's on the bench every week. He's got energy. He's a good passer, and he plays Souček. Honestly, Souček is so bad. I like him. He's a nice fella.
But what's happened to Reece? What's happened to him? Because I watched him last season. West Ham, Declan Rice, Souček in midfield. I mean, we're talking about them being the two best midfielders in the league at one point. How has he fallen off so bad?
I think it happened after the Euros, because Rice was bombing forward for England, and we tried to do that. We tried to get Souček holding and Rice bombing on, and it just didn't work, because Souček, if he gets on the end of things in the box, that's his strength. But his passing and physicality is not his strength. So we need to put Rice back in defensive midfield and play Fornals or Paqueta, you know? I think we'll sign Paqueta. He's a better player than Souček. I think Souček needs to be benched.
All right, Reece, top man. Really appreciate your call.